Just 1 second. Now you can see it's recorded. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those ones who have made to join. I've muted you, but you can put your videos as well as mine so that you can see me. And I'm hiding behind a screen. So I hope you can all see me well. So the stage is actually not mine, so it doesn't matter the view of my camera, because the person we are really putting in the spotlight is Janine. And I had, as I mentioned to you, Janine, she's a hair therapist, and we had a very nice conversation before, and it was about how she has actually brought herself to doing something that she loves most, and take it actually not only from love. Now it's like a business for her, and it's such a passion, and that's why I always tell the people to always follow their passion. It's very important to follow your passion so that people can really recognize what you do, and if things go wrong, you have that passion, nothing can stop you. And that's the drive we also have as our organization. For some of you who have just joined now, my name is Joy Tent, and I'm the founder of African Women in Europe, an organization that has been there for the past 11 years now, since it started around January now. It's almost 11. Last year was our 10th anniversary. We had a great time with women, and all about our way is to inform, empower, build a networking platform for our women all over Europe, and also mentor. This is a very new project that we started. We are also mentoring, and as well in the near future, helping the financial support. And this is something that we are very passionate about. And we also want very much to empower our members. And that's why we are here today. Because it's so important to actually share, to find out what our members doing out there, how can we support them and grow together. And through our membership, and we are giving opportunity to almost all our members that are able to come and share their story with us, share their ideas, what they're doing. And this has been such a great way of sharing this information with the rest of the community, and as well, not only our member, but also the people around us. They can learn from us. They can also take this as a guide towards a new goal. You never know, because sometimes you must be hearing so many words from one person, but maybe one particular person will say it and you get the aha moment. Although these words probably have been repeated to you 100 times, but they've never made a meaning. So we keep repeating all these words over and over again, hoping that definitely one time it will become more important to most of us here and also in their life. So we are recording this to make sure. We had a small hiccup today with the login, and I can hear somebody saying they cannot hear anything. Let me hear from your side. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, there's somebody who didn't hear us and she's just left. She might sign again, and then we can move on. So go ahead, Janine. I'll let you share your screen. Before you share your screen, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, and just a little bit of background so that we have a full hour to exercise yourself. I can see some people are coming in. Feel free to come in, but mute yourself. I'll try as much as possible to mute yourself. And yeah, so welcome, Janine. Take the stage.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much, Joy. And welcome, everybody. My name is Janine Van Throo. I currently live in Belgium, and I'm a natural hair therapist. I have been natural since 2003, and I've been in the natural hair care business since 2004. This is actually all in my presentation. I made a small presentation for you, well, also for me, so I can follow my story. And I also will have some time to answer specific questions. If you have any questions with regards to your own hair, I can also answer them. So I will go ahead and share my screen now. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, yes, we can see your screen.
Okay.
Let me see whether I can make it clearer for others as well. Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
We have a chat, just a short break. We have a chat. If you're having any problem on the other side, feel free to write us, tell us if you can hear us, and you have already set questions, you can already start writing on the chat and we'll answer them as we go. And I will inform Janine if there's any question from your side, if you've written, just that something comes up in between. Yes, go ahead, Janine.
Okay. What I will be discussing today, I must say I don't really work from the sheet, so I will just tell the story, and if there's questions, I will answer the question. But what I'll try to touch today is what is natural hair, because that question is something that is not very clear to a lot of people. I will go into the basics of hair care. I will talk about the niche philosophy. The niche philosophy is a holistic hair care philosophy that I've developed, and I will have some time for question and answers. So first, a little bit about myself. As I said, my name is Janine Van Throo, and I'm a natural hair therapist. I am also a product formulator. I am an author. I wrote a book, and I hope to be joining the next Awe book. I am a international speaker, and this year I have been, or last year actually, I have been awarded with the Black Women in Europe Power List for 2018 for the pioneer work of what I've been doing in the natural hair care in Europe. So I'm very, very proud of that. I am the founder of Sisei Cosmetics. Sisei Cosmetics is the company where I formulate all the products for. And basically we focus on natural hair care, but also skin care. I am also the founder of Just Natural Consulting, where I offer business-to-business products to the business. And yes, I also have a nutritional product specifically for hair growth from the inside. And this year I have started a certification program where I will teach women how to become a natural hair therapist like myself. And my goal is to have 5,000 natural hair therapists all over the world by 2020. Okay.
Great. Thank you. So anyway, first of all, before you go ahead, this is really amazing what you've done. Yeah. And just a little bit background of people to understand you, because to explain who is really Janine, apart from what you've just shown us here, just to give you a little bit of personal touch to get them to know where the whole background behind you.
You mean with regards to the natural hair, or just me as a human?
Yes, you also been in Europe and all that.
I was born in Suriname. When I was 7, we moved to the Netherlands. Well, I moved to the Netherlands. My mother stayed behind. And I came to live in the Netherlands. That is where I went to school and where I basically grew up. And at first I wanted to become a doctor. Of course, we all have dreams, but I couldn't see any blood. So I changed into computer science. I studied computer science, but that was, although I really love IT, I still love technology. And I really encourage women to go into technology as a basic. The business that I started, I really started it out of frustration.
Okay.
Because I have been chemically treating my hair for over 15 years. And I did not notice what was happening to my hair. My hair was getting thinner and thinner. And it was one day that it was raining and I was looking at old pictures. And I could not believe what my hair looked like then in comparison with what I had that moment. And that was the moment that I realized that something was wrong. Okay, I saw the hairs. I was doing perms every 3 months. I went to the hairdressers. They did my hair, and although it became thinner, it happened so gradually that you don't even realize that something is wrong. The hairs on the bathroom floor, you just take them for granted, and you think, oh well, you know, you don't even realize what the chemicals are doing to your body, to your hair. And until the moment that I saw the pictures, I didn't even realize what damage was done to my hair. So I remember that I got up after seeing the pictures. I got up and I went to the bathroom to see if it was really true that what I had, the hair that I had on my hair then was so very thin. Um, and from that moment on, actually, I started to look for products to make my hair thick again. And I think that a lot of women can relate that when something happens, when they see something with their hair is breaking, their hair is getting thinner, they are looking for products to apply to their hair so that it can become full and lifeful and thick again. And it took me quite some years to figure out, to learn that it is not only about what you apply to your hair, um, and that you cannot put something on your hair that makes it thicker. And that is something that I'm trying to make women aware, that it's not about what you apply to your hair. So I had a very long journey to learn what I've learned and what I know today. Um, in 2003, I finally had the courage to cut all my hair off and start with a small afro. And it was really strange because I can relate to women that, for instance, are having chemotherapy and losing all their hair. As a matter of fact, my best friend a couple of years ago, she suffered from breast cancer. And she, due to the chemotherapy, she was losing her hair. And she also had to have her breast amputated. And that moment was very emotional because she told me that, you know, I don't even, of course, it's terrible that I'm going to lose my breast, but it's even worse that I'm going to lose my hair. And that was the moment that I realized that hair is really, really important to women, and what kind of psychological effect it can have on you when you lose it behind measures that you don't have any power over it at all. So there is actually where I started. I started to import products basically only for myself because I wasn't even thinking of starting a business in the hair care. I started to import products for my hair because I didn't know how to treat my hair. The knowledge wasn't there, and I couldn't find. I lived in a small town in the Netherlands. I couldn't find the right product, so I went on the internet. And not a lot of people had internet by then, but I was working in IT, so in the boss's time, I was looking for products and I was looking for information on the internet. And I started to import products from the United States and from actually all over the world. If I even saw a product, I tried it because I thought that by applying products to my hair would get full again. And of course, everybody is trying to sell you the fast growth and the you know, all these products. And I bought that for a while because you don't have the knowledge and you are really hoping that they will work.
Yeah.
So fast forward in 2009, in 2006 actually, after treating my hair with natural products and my hair was doing very well, people started to ask me what I was doing, what I was using for my hair, and I already had the web shop. And then the questions came if I could help them treating their hair, and I didn't know anything about hair, so I said okay. And I went to some. I looked for education, for natural hair education, to be able to do people's hair, to realize that there is no education in that field. There is no hairdresser school that teaches you how to treat natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to a couple of educational institutions in the Netherlands, tried to explain to them about why there should be a natural hair education incorporated in the system. And until today, they don't really see the need of it. Okay. So I started treating people's hair, and I started to do a lot of courses around it to get the knowledge on how things work. So I did my basic medical knowledge. I followed the dermatology for hairdressers. I followed the trichology study in the UK. I was all over the place, all over the world, getting information just to be able to do natural hair. And it was only 2 years ago, actually, that I went back to the Netherlands to find out if there was education. And there is still no qualified and quality education specific for natural hair. Natural hair. And I think there's an echo.
Yes, we can hear you.
No, but there's an echo. I hear myself.
Not from our side. We can hear you quite well.
Okay. So, and that is, suddenly someone told me, why don't you open your own school? Why don't you start giving the education? Because you have gained so much knowledge. In the meantime, I also learned how to formulate products. I did some chemical studies. I did some formulation. And I was giving workshops directly to consumers how to treat their hair. And then I got the advice, well, you are fighting to get the institutions to give natural hair education. Why don't you start the natural hair education yourself? So that is how the idea started, to do the certification program and train people to become natural hair therapists. Okay, that was a very long intro.
Thank you. Thank you for those people who are joining. Yes, we have started the show. So yes, go ahead.
Okay. What is natural hair? Because a lot of people are confused when it's natural hair and it's not. I still hear an echo, and it's really irritating.
As I said, from our side, we can hear you well. I can't hear any echo.
Okay.
Well, I'll try to.
I hear myself.
Maybe you. Yes, from my side, I can't see anybody who is muted and muted. Yeah, it should be fine from our side. We can hear you quite well.
Okay. To me, natural hair, and that is what I teach my people, natural hair is not chemically treated hair. And natural hair is basically virgin hair. So what is chemically treated? If you put a relaxer in your hair, it's chemically treated. If you do a S-curl, it's chemically treated. But also if you color your hair with a permanent color, it is chemically treated. And I do not consider colored hair natural hair, because
so, it's interesting when you say that, because you find people with natural hair with colored hair on like the blonde or the brown. So
Yes.
this is also chemically treated.
It's chemically treated, because in order to get the blonde color, you have to you have to bleach the hair first.
Yes.
So you are deriving the hair from a lot of components in order to put the blonde color in it. So it is chemically treated. When it's chemically treated, you change the structure, the natural structure of your hair, and in a way that it's not getting back in its original shape by its own.
Okay.
That is my explanation for natural hair. And of course, there are a lot of structures. I don't discuss hair types because to me that is a whole other topic. But I don't like to work with hair types. I see a lot of people. I have 4B, I have 4C, I have 3B. But to me, it's the same classification as when we would use the terms I am light skinned, I am dark skinned, because when somebody says I have 3A hair, you immediately have an idea of how that person looks like if you don't see the person. And basically, it doesn't matter what type of hair, if it's 4A or 4B. What I do, I look at the need of the hair, because somebody a very dark skinned, my cousin, for instance, is very dark skinned, but her hair is much softer than my hair. So I don't use that. I don't work with the hair types. I look at the need of the hair.
I have to stop a little bit because I can hear the people saying they can hear an echo, and some of our listeners. And interesting, I don't hear it from my side. Yes, could you check maybe your connection on your side? You're using the headphones, right?
Using my headphone.
Yeah.
Okay, could you try the other option? The voice just changed a little bit in a few seconds.
Is it better like this?
Okay, somebody say it's gone now, so maybe it's okay now.
Okay. Natural hair, when I talk about natural hair, I talk about Afro and curly hair. But of course, natural hair, Caucasian or Asian hair that is not chemically treated can also be natural hair. But since I don't have that hair type, I focus on my own hair type, which is Afro and curly hair. Our hair type tends to be dry, and people have the idea that it's very strong hair, but in fact, our hair breaks very easily. And a lot of people are complaining that their hair doesn't seem to be growing. This is also a misconception, because your hair, the growth of your hair happens, it's a process by your body. So your hair will always grow. But what happens with natural hair or Afro haired people is that the hair will, because of the dryness, it will break as fast as that it grows, so that it seems as if it's not growing, but it is growing. What I also teach people are the basic steps in natural hair. These are washing, conditioning, moisturizing, which can also be conditioning and styling. With the washing, because our hair is dry, a lot of people think that they shouldn't wash their hair as often. And there are women that are washing their hair only once in 2 months or once in 5 months, whatever. I really don't recommend that, because on our scalp, we have bacteria, we have mites, and this is perfectly normal until you give them the chance to multiply. Some of the mites live from the sebum that is from on our scalp. And the chance, if you're not washing your scalp and your hair regularly, actually, basically, it's more washing your scalp. If you don't wash your scalp regularly, something that a lot of people forget, to take care of their scalp, is what happens is that the mites will multiply and they live from the sebum, which can eventually cause hair loss. Conditioning is a step that must be, and I say must be applied after washing. What a conditioner does is that it puts back the moisture in your hair that you lost during washing. If you have dry hair, I always recommend to use a conditioning shampoo. I saw a lot of posts where people use soap and where people use a lot of products that I would not recommend to wash their hair. There's also co-washing. Because of the dry hair, a lot of people want to stop using shampoos actually, and instead of shampoos, use conditioners. This is not a bad thing because a shampoo contains of surfactants, but the conditioner also contains has surfactants in them. So depending on what kind of surfactant is being used in the conditioner, you can use a conditioner, but since we have to also consider our scalp, if someone is doing the no-poo or the co-wash, as they call it, I always recommend to use once every month, use a clarifying shampoo. And a clarifying shampoo is a little bit harsher than a conditioning shampoo, but with a clarifying shampoo, you make sure that you take out all the build-up and the dirt from your hair. With the washing also, I make a distinction between scalp and hair. Why is that? Because your hair is dead, biologically dead material, and your scalp is alive. So therefore, for your scalp, you need other ingredients than you need for your hair. That is why I make a very a distinction between shampoos for your hair and shampoos for your scalp. The moisturizer, which can also be a conditioner, is basically a leave-in conditioner that you use in your hair every day. I use a leave-in conditioner on a daily basis. What I've noticed is that I don't need that much because I have been using nutritional products specifically for my hair since 2012. That would be 7 years now. Which what happened with my hair is that my hair structure, I don't want to say that it's changed. I think that it is now in the state that it was supposed to be. Because what happens if you don't give your body nutrition? Basically what we do is we derive our body from the nutrition that they need. People think that if they eat like 3 apples a day and they eat rice, they get all the nutrients in. You do get some nutrients in, but we also have to take in consideration that the level of the nutrients in the food, because of the soil that is not that fertile anymore, is not the same as it was 50 years ago. So in order to get the amount in our body that our body actually needs, for instance, I love to drink, what's the name? They call it wonyo. I don't know in what African language it is, but it is hibiscus tea, bissap. In Congo, they call it bissap. And I really love the amount that you actually need. I would need to drink a pool full of that to get the amount, a daily amount in my body. And that is why I also recommend to supplement or to use nutritional products for your body, to give your body the building blocks that it needs to grow healthy hair. Sorry.
Wow. One question here, somebody just asked quickly. You can hear me?
Yeah.
There's one question here, and the question is, how often or so oft is it best to wash my hair? I think it's a question if how often should you wash, or too much washing hair, is it good for her hair? There's one person asking that.
Too much washing, it depends on your lifestyle. For instance, if you have someone that is exercising 3 times a week and is not washing their hair, I would recommend that you wash your hair more than once a week. I wash my hair once a week. Well, I'm not exercising. I do some yoga once in a while. But if you exercise, you sweat also on your scalp. So therefore, I would recommend that even if you don't really use shampoo, but instead of using shampoo, you can put extra conditioner in your hair and then rinse your hair. But you should be sure that you rinse out the sweat from your scalp. So if you exercise, I would recommend that you do it more. In the winter, I wash my hair once a week. In the summer, I won't call it washing, but I do wet my hair every day when it's warm. But of course, I make sure that after I do that, I use conditioners in my hair.
Okay, now that you're talking about conditioner, because it's good that they're asking questions as we go on so that we don't lose the topics as you go on. There's one, can you condition using an oil like coconut? Can you condition your hair with oil like?
Coconut oil would be more for moisturizing, not for conditioning. A conditioner is a product that is that contains cationic components. And what does that mean? Natural hair is negatively charged. And what we need to keep in the moisture in our hair, or positively charged components or ingredients that will cling to your hair. Well, I call it cling. But what a conditioner basically also does is that it lays a film over your hair depending on what ingredients are being used. So long story short, no, you cannot use coconut to condition your hair. You're muted. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. You can go ahead.
Okay. With regards to styling, I have my hair down now, but normally I always have my hair, especially in the winters, I always have my hair in a protective style. And my protective style is actually really easy. When I'm at home, it's like 3 big twists. When I'm outside, also outside, I wear my hair in a protective style. It's 1 bun on top of my head with 1 twist, and I tuck the ends in. Why do I do that? Because if I let the wind get to my hair, and I do that every day, I will have to comb it every day, and I will have to, that will give me more mechanical damage, because our hair gets damaged very easily. Even washing the hair can damage your hair, because our hair consists, the outer layer of our hair consists of 11 layers. Actually, everybody thinks that it's just the cuticle, but the cuticle itself has 11 layers. But our hair really easily breaks. So what happens when you have damaged hair? There are holes in our hair. We have 3 layers, and the outer layer, it falls off. It's really easy to fall off. And that is also the reason why we should use products that strengthen our hair from the outside, so that it forms a film around our hair strands to protect it from external factors such as the sun, the wind, salt, pollution, whatever. But also combing the hair. Combing your hair can damage your hair. Washing your hair, rubbing your hair can damage it. When I wash my hair, I don't use a regular towel. I use an old t-shirt to dry my hair. And I don't dry my hair like this. I just put the t-shirt around my hair and I let it dry like that. Because almost everything that we do can damage our hair. And to eliminate the damage as much as possible, I use conditioner, a lot of conditioner. And I try to comb my hair as less as possible. Are there any questions regarding that? Because
they're coming, but I think we can continue. We'll ask them afterwards, unless you finished with your topics.
okay. During the years, I was telling before that it took me a lot of years to find out, to realize that it's not only what you apply to your hair, because normally when people talk about hair care, they only think about what the products that you apply to your hair. Another misconception is that people look at my hair and then they ask, what do you use for your hair? And then they expect to have the same result, not knowing that I have another lifestyle, that I use nutrition on a daily basis, that I really watch my diet, what I eat, that I really regularly massage my scalp. So it's not only about the products that you use. Basically, it's a lifestyle. And it took me quite some time to figure that out. A couple of years ago, all the knowledge that I gained in the past 15 years, I combined them in a holistic hair care philosophy called nish. And I have been using that philosophy for a couple of years now, just to see if it works. And the way I want to see if it works is I always tell people, for instance, if you are getting a coach, if you have a financial coach, you should look at the fruit of that coach. So if that coach is as broke as you, don't take the coach. That is why, to show people that it is possible to grow Afro hair. This is already my third time that I did a big chop and grow my hair back, just to show people that it is possible to grow your hair with the right knowledge, with the right techniques, with the right products. It is really possible to grow your hair. NISH is an acronym, and it stands for Nutrition, Ingredients, Scalp Care, and Hair Maintenance. And these are the 4 pillars that are basically, as I see it, basically the 4 pillars when it comes to hair care. Hair care to me is the total of this all. So I don't talk about hair maintenance in the last part. Hair maintenance is really the hair, the way we treat the hair that we see on our on the outside, on our scalp. The way we work, well, this was still in the time that I was treating people's hair, and I had a natural hair salon in Amsterdam. I am no longer doing that, but once in a while I do analysis for the hair, and for some old customers, I still do that, and I travel to the Netherlands with my scalp scan and my body analyzer, and I if they have a wash bin available, I can also treat their hair, but it's not something that I do right now. To be able to know what to do with the client, you should first of all
Hello, can you all hear me? Have we lost Janine? Can somebody say something there? Hilda, can you hear me?
Hi, Joy.
It was frozen.
Okay.
Yes, yes, you were frozen. Oh, yeah, you're back now.
Okay.
Okay.
The next step after the questionnaire, and after I have been able to translate the answers from the consumer or the client into what they really need, I do, if it's necessary, I do a scalp scan, and I also do a body analyzer. With the scalp scan basically is a microscope specifically for the skin and the scalp, where I can see what the status is of the scalp. So if someone has, for instance, hair loss, I can diagnose what type of hair loss it is, and I can see, and I can guide them into what steps they should take. If it's someone that really needs, if I see, for instance, strange thing on the scalp that could be malicious, for instance, skin cancer or whatever, then I refer them to the doctor or a dermatologist. With the body analyzer, I can measure, because the level of vitamins and minerals have a tremendous effect on our hair as well. With the body analyzer, I analyze the amount of vitamins and minerals in our body or in the client's body in order to see if there is a lack and to be able to support them with the intake of nutrition if it's necessary. With those combined, then I can describe some sort of therapy depending on what they have. If someone just has, for instance, dry hair, then it's very easy. Then you just, well, not just, you do some deep conditioning treatments and then you're done. But it's of course a total different story when someone has severe hair loss. Then you have to determine what the cause is of that hair loss, what type of hair loss it is. And if it's hair loss that cannot be treated, you will be the one telling the person that there's no hope. So acting as a natural hair therapist is, you are a lot in one, actually. You are a psychologist, you are the hairdresser, but you also become the friend, and you also, so it's a very grateful profession, to be honest. When I had my salon in Amsterdam, I had nights that I was working until 1 o'clock in the morning, but I also had days that women just came there just to talk. And that is an environment, because it's a safe environment, all Black women together with no pressure, just there to talk, and they open up and start to share their stories. And a lot of the ladies even became friends. And I had one of them, her husband was always asking why she stayed so long there when she came. And one day he came to bring her, but then he decided to stay because he wanted to know what was that thing that was keeping her there. And he was sitting there talking to all the other ladies there. And then at the end of the evening, when they were leaving, he said, "Oh, okay, now I understand." So it's really a place of being together and sharing stories and sharing pain. So being a natural hair therapist is far more than just treating people's hair. You become a confidant, you become a lot of things. And I really enjoyed that period, to be honest. These are some pictures of the scalp scan and how the scalp scan looks like, what you see through the scan. And it really looks scary, but it's not. This is, these are several scalps within several conditions. Scalp with dandruff, infected scalp, damaged scalp. With the natural hair, with the certification program, I also teach you to recognize damage and how you should treat the scalp if they are damaged. What I do not recommend is, and I've had that as well, is when you have a damaged scalp, don't even try to use like a scalp cleanser or whatever. Do not touch the scalp because it's very sensitive. The scalp is the only place where your hair is alive. And if you damage your scalp, you can get scar tissue, and that can get your hair, your follicles to die. So you won't have hair growth in that area. So we have to be very careful with our scalp.
Just quickly, let me just go through some questions and coming through slowly by slowly. Okay, there's one question here that is interesting. My hair is much shorter. What do you suggest as protective hairstyle without braiding it, especially in the winter? What is the effect? And then about the topic about you use your t-shirt to dry your hair. What's the difference in a t-shirt and a towel? So that's one person asking the two questions.
Okay. With regards to the protective styling, what I also use and what I recommend is that you use a satin pillowcase, and you can also use, if your hair is too short, of course you cannot do anything. What I always use, and what I also use for my daughter, I use twists for myself, and my daughter, she likes the cornrows. So that is a protective style. My daughter has, I do her hair once a week. I do a cornrow in whatever model, so that the hair stays intact for the whole week, so that I only have to comb it, wash it in once a week. With regards to the, what was the next question? The towel.
Yes, the t-shirt.
That has to do with the subtraction of moisture out of your hair. This is also the reason why I recommend to use satin pillowcases, because cotton has the ability to withdraw moisture from our hair. And since our hair is dry, and if you have something that is withdrawing moisture from your hair as well, it will get dry and it will easily break. That is why I recommend to use satin pillowcases instead of cotton.
Okay, that's a good one. I have another one. Okay. Well, she says she does the twists, the flat twists, but I'm not always okay with what it looks like.
Okay, but that is
the taste.
Yes.
So I hope people can hear me, because I can hear some people saying they cannot hear us. Just write to me if you can still hear us. That was around, probably that's the time you disappear, but I'm not sure that's already like a few minutes ago. Let us know whether you can still hear us. Okay, thank you. And then there's somebody that's asking, when the follicles die, is there anything you can do?
No. No. But in order to know if it's really dead, you cannot determine from the outside if it's dead or not. Unless you have scar tissue on your scalp, you cannot determine if your follicles are dead or not. The only way to find out is to do a biopsy, and you have to do that in the hospital, because there is no one that outside of the hospital. I cannot do it, and I won't tell people that I can. So you can have the idea that your follicles are dead, because you can also have dormant follicles. So the ones that are not dead, but are just not producing hair. And with therapy, you can give them a kickstart to start producing hair again. So that is also possible. Follicles don't die that easily.
Okay, I think that's all for now. Then we can go ahead.
Okay. One thing that people really should know and never forget is that healthy hair comes from the inside. There is nothing that you can apply to your hair to make your hair grow. There is a distinction between hair and scalp. Your scalp is the place where your hair is being born. 4 millimeters in your scalp, you have the follicles, and the follicles are being fed, the nutritions are being fed by the bloodstream in your scalp. So the moment your scalp, the moment that your hair leaves your scalp, it is biologically dead material, because what happens is, basically, our hair is a waste product of our body. Just like our nails, it's actually a waste product, because the dead cells that are in our scalp are being pushed up, and the moment that they are above our scalp, the moment that they grow out of our scalp or pushed out of our scalp, they are no longer in contact with our blood flow. So therefore, it's dead material. A full head of hair contains between 120 and 150,000 follicles. Now, I must say that these figures are based on scientific research only based on Caucasian and Asian hair. So I always give that remark because until now, all the research that have been done with regards to hair and scalp mainly have been done on Caucasian and Asian hair. So I take this for a fact, but I'm not sure if this also goes for our hair. That's just a remark that I want to place because
we're happy to have you then. So you're gonna do research on our hair.
I am. It's the same with ingredients actually, because I am now closely working with a company that is ingredient supplier, and they are quite known for their ingredients. And when they came to me to offer the ingredients that they have, they were really coming with it's been tested, and these are the tests. And my question would always be, did you test it on Afro hair? And their answer would always be no. So the ingredients, especially in the mainstream products, have been tested on have not been tested on Afro hair. It is not until I think it is now 3 years ago that they called me and they said, we have a new ingredient. And well, of course they knew what I was going to ask. And the man said, and it's been tested on Afro hair. It's been tested in Africa. It's been tested in the United States. So and it's a conditioner, and basically I use that. I don't use it very much. I use it in products that are meant for really damaged hair. So we are getting there. We are slowly getting there.
Great.
With regards to scientific things, as with regards to ingredients. Our hair grows basically very slowly. It grows between 1 and 1.5 centimeters per month. You can speed it up. It is possible to speed up your hair growth from the inside, but I don't think it's a wise thing to do. I have been working with a couple of biochemists, and they have been able to produce a product that could grow your hair to 2 centimeters per month. But well, you could even grow it to 6 centimeters per month. But
is that really it's quite interesting, because 1 centimeter.
No, it's
really,
not. It's not interesting.
Really tiny.
I know, but you better stay with the one we have, really.
But that's an average of also African hair, the 1 centimeter?
The 1 centimeter, yes. Depending, of course, on, there are a lot of factors that are also playing a role, such as your diet, your background, your geographical background, the water that you use. So there are a lot of factors that are playing a role. The reason why I say that it's not, I wouldn't do it to use nutrition to grow your hair faster. The hair does grow, but it doesn't have any body. So it would be very thin and it would break. It won't have all the contents, because you are actually disrupting the process in your body. You're taking your body out of balance. So 1.5 centimeters, speed it up till 1.8. That is okay by me. I've been using that myself, but 3 and 4, it's, you know, it's like creating aliens, and that is that is not something that I would do.
Okay. Just to keep the head up, we are already at 1 hour clock, but we were late, around 15 minutes or so. So yeah, just to keep you aware of the time.
Okay, I think this is one of the latest slides. Also with regards to hair, because people start panicking when they see see some hair on their clothes or whatever. Per day, we lose 50 to 100 hairs per day. Our hair grows in cycles. Now on the internet, it says that our hair grows in 4 cycles, or phases. Our hair grows in 3 phases. Our hair actually grows in 4 phases. They leave the last phase out because they don't know what happens in the last phase. So it's convenient to leave it out. But basically our hair grows in 4 different phases. Now there are ways to, you have the growth phase, for instance, is the first phase where your hair grows. Then you have a phase of resting. There are ways to trick your DNA because the length of your growth phase is also determined by your DNA. There are ways to trick your DNA, which for the hair, which is safe, because I'm using that product as well, and it's accessible everywhere, I think. You can trick your body by supplementing with MSM. And what MSM does is it keeps your hair longer in the growth phase. So your hair phase gets longer, so your hair grows longer, and it takes a longer time before it enters into the next phase. That is one tip that I can give, and that I've been using myself for a lot of years now. A lot of years. Let me see. I would say 10 years off and on. And that is with MSM. And what is MSM? MSM is basically sulfur. There are a lot of people now doing the onion juice on their scalp. That is very beneficial for their scalp. In onion, there is sulfur. And that is what is taking care of some scalp issues. And but you can also use the MSM. Okay, you won't drink onion juice. Well, I won't drink it. So instead of that, you can also use the MSM powder. I use the powder because I don't like pills. MSM powders to strengthen your hair from the inside and to trick your DNA, actually. I think I already said this, that your scalp is the only place where your hair is actually alive. So therefore, a lot of people forget to treat their scalp. But you have to, on a daily basis, actually, you have to massage your scalp to make sure that you have enough blood flow to your scalp. With the blood flow, you bring the nutrition to your follicles, and also the waste that is in your follicles will be taken out of it through the blood flow as well. Also make sure that you always keep your scalp clean. You will never get it squeaky clean. There will always be bacteria. There will always be mites on your scalp as they are on our skin. And that is perfectly okay, as long as you don't give them the space to grow and multiply where they can damage your scalp and your hair. That was actually my last slide. If people are interested in contacting me, they can contact me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook with my own name, Janine Van Throo. I am also on Instagram, and they can also contact me through my website, justnaturalconsulting.com.
Wow, that's quite interesting topics there. I mean, quite new stuff that people don't even think about it. And I can see some questions are coming up. I'll just go through what I have here, and then we're going to let the people ask if they have extra questions. I have my own questions I want to ask from what I've had and what I've been doing some exchange throughout the advertisement of this presentation. So anyway, I'll go straight here. I don't know whether it's like there's a lot of communication in there. So is there a conditioner that can be found in nature without intensive manufacturing and not involving too much lab processing? I believe that everything we need for everything is in nature, but it seems like conditioner is a tough one.
Yes, there is. What I have been using and what I'm still using off and on actually is a combination of coconut milk with clay and some coconut oil. Okay. I do the coconut oil because the clay tends to, you also have to look at how your hair reacts to certain products. I do some coconut oil in there because coconut oil is scientifically proven that it's the only oil that has the ability to prevent our hair from losing protein. Our hair consists of protein. Most of our hair consists of protein. For instance, by dyeing your hair, you rid your hair from the protein, as well as when you do other chemically treatments. And that is why it's important to do protein treatments when you do that. Coming back to the question, yes, coconut milk and clay would be a good conditioner for the hair, as well as some Ayurvedic herbs like amla powder, shikakai powder. Henna is also a good conditioner. The downside is that it dyes your hair, it colors your hair. Well, it doesn't have to be a downside, of course. I have been using henna quite a while. But there are a lot of really natural conditioners, yes.
Wow, that's quite interesting, because this, as well as you're saying, the conditioner, the natural conditioner, there's a groomer, but I don't know how good it is, where they mix egg, I think it's egg yolk or egg white with olive oil, with a lot of stuff mixed. Very natural one.
Yes. Like, with the egg, you get the protein, but the problem is, and that is also something that I do like, because I started with natural products, but along the way you learn a lot. With, for instance, the egg, you also have to be sure, or to make sure, that when you use a product, the molecules in the product are small enough to penetrate your hair, and that is not always the case when you use really natural products.
Okay. Yes. So that means you have to be very careful what the products you're using.
You really have to. Yes, you really have to know what to use. Another thing, a lot of people don't use milk, but another thing that I have been using and what really works well for me is goat milk.
Okay.
Goat milk, coconut oil, and I'm not sure if people can get their hands on some thickener called guar. You can also use, we use it in the kitchen to make pudding.
Custard? No.
Well, it would smell nice. No.
Yeah.
Okay, if it comes to me, I'll say it. But
yes, I can see when you said that about the yogurt, I can see, I mean, the Greek
yogurt is a very good
yogurt. I see somebody has said,
yes, absolutely.
Someone has said, I made one from Greek yogurt, honey, olive oil, and apple cider, and I put it after washing and found it good.
I would leave the apple cider out, because your hair already is slightly acidic.
Okay.
So I would leave the apple cider vinegar. I would do for a scalp treatment, but not as much for my hair, because hair has a pH of, if it's natural hair, it has a pH of around 3.7, which is already pretty acidic.
Somebody is also, oh, sorry, you finished?
The yogurt is a very good one. Yogurt with honey and some oil in there is a good one, yes.
So this time we are talking about treatment, right?
Treatment, yes.
Treatments, yeah. Okay, good. Then there's somebody else here saying, I have started using coconut milk and oil, but I don't know about clay. Where would you get the clay?
I don't.
Is that the clay, the earth clay that we know, or it's another clay you're talking about?
It's when I was using clay, I imported it from Morocco. So I used rasoul or gasoul. I don't know how they call it in other countries. But it's basically clay, the brown clay, not the kaolin clay, not the white one. The brown one, which you can also use for facial treatments.
Okay.
So look at some local stores where they sell Moroccan products or Turkish products. They can have them.
Okay, great. Any product to help with alopecia?
Alopecia, no, that is an internal thing. With alopecia, there are a lot of types. With alopecia, you have to first determine what type of alopecia you have. And based on the cause, so based on the type, you can then determine if it's something that can be treated or not.
So what is, maybe you can explain to us who don't know what is alopecia.
Alopecia is actually the group name for hair loss, and you have several types. You have types that are genetic, that you get them from your mother's side. So if you see bald man, for instance, everybody, if a man is bald, they look at the father if the father is also bald. But actually, the how do you call it? The gen from baldness comes from the mother's side. So you have to look at the mother's side.
Okay.
This also goes for women. If you are getting bald spots, if it's genetic, look at the mother's side. And it can be treated, but then you have to, you cannot eliminate it. You can treat it so that it takes longer before it's actually visible. Your hair will get thinner because it also has to do with your genetic household, of course. Some of them you don't even have to treat because they will come back, and it really depends on what type of alopecia you have.
Okay. Good.
One of them, since we are we also discussed protective styling. A lot of women do get their hair braided, but the braids are too tight. That is actually what you do there. If it's too tight, and you pull out your hair from your follicle, and if it's been done too many times, your follicle will simply stop producing hair.
Okay, great. So I think those are the questions there. I don't know if anybody there wants to ask a question. Just what you can do, you just unmute yourself, and then you can ask your question, and then, yeah. So meanwhile, please see the contact of Janine there. We'll leave them there for some time, but just as soon as we can see you well, hopefully. Yeah, you can just unmute yourself and ask a question. So who's gonna go first?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Joy. Hi, how are you?
We are fine, thank you.
Okay.
We can hear you, but we cannot see you, but that's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Janine. Thank you
Hello.
so much for your presentation. It's been amazing, and it's also a pleasure to know that you're here in the Netherlands. So afterwards,
I'm
I
in
will just
Belgium.
contact you directly.
Oh, she moved. She
Sorry.
moved.
Oh, you moved already. Oh boy.
I'm sorry, but I'm there regularly. So
Okay. Well, I've been the one making all these questions about alopecia for obvious reasons. I think it was because of the braids, but I'm not sure. So what I wanted to know is where should I go to find out what type of alopecia I have? Is it the dermatologist that I should consult, or who?
you can go to a dermatologist. Not all the dermatologists know about hair because even during my education, I didn't agree with a lot of what they said because,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them also give contradictory information.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, at the beginning, there was one, and I don't mean to be, I don't mean it rude, but there was one white dermatologist who claims that nutrition had nothing to do with hair. And then we had a Chinese dermatologist, and he says nutrition plays a really great part when it comes to hair. So even in that field, the information that they give is very contradictory. I am thinking of where are you based in Netherlands?
I am in, well, very close to Amsterdam, in Amstelveen.
Yeah. Do you know Dr. Hamerling?
No, but if you provide me with the details, I can contact him.
Okay, I'm not sure if he's still doing it, if he is still working, but
Mm-hmm.
he is specialized in afro, in dark skin.
Yeah.
So I think he would be able to determine if you have, what type of alopecia you have. But if you
Okay.
can you briefly tell me what it looks like? What
Sorry. It's in the front. It's
Mhm.
in the front. Well, hold on a second. Maybe I can just share my horrible video.
Maybe not a good idea to share because we are recording as well. So
Oh, okay, okay
if you're
then.
happy with that, that's fine. But I need to tell you this.
Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know. So it is in the front of my hair, just where normally we braid, and I think it was all the pull of all the braids that maybe they were too tight. But I also think that it also had to do a little bit with stress. Because after I stopped, I've been without braiding for almost a year and a half now, and the hair is still not growing there, and I just feel like the whole place is just like normal skin, like if it was on top of my hand, you know. So there's no even I can't even see follicles.
But no, you won't be able to see follicles from the outside. Do you even have like baby hairs on the skin on the
No,
scalp?
no, no.
Does it feel as if it's like scar tissue? Is it really is there really nothing there?
I see there is like in the border, in the very border, I can see a thin line of hair growing.
Okay,
But
then
then
your follicles are still active.
Oh, okay.
What you can do.
Well, Janine, maybe I would suggest you get into contact,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
If you give me your address, I will send you.
Yes.
You're right. You're right.
Okay.
I will send you some. I will send you a tool to start using, as well as an oil.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Anybody else who have a question? I have one before people they think, and it's to do with the water type of the water here. Okay, I'm a little bit lucky with the hair. My hair, I don't have a huge problem of the growth. It grows maybe sometimes maybe I need to slow it down, but let me touch the wood, thanks God. But the type of water, I realize when you come here in Europe, I don't know, they do a lot of this how do you put hard water.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of hard water, and with this calc, I think it's called calc in English. I don't know if I'm mixing it with German.
Yeah.
And what do you recommend you? Because someone told me it's not the best water to wash your hair with. Definitely, it breaks your hair and all that stuff. And maybe it's better to boil your water or use distilled water or things like that. What do you think?
It will get very expensive.
Yeah, you can boil it. The thing is that you just need to boil it, put it aside, but I don't know how much.
But boiling doesn't get the metals out of the water.
Yeah.
Get the metals out of the water. I think we have the same water, right? Because here in Belgium, the water out of the tap, it smells, it's filled with chlorine. You know, I don't drink tap water, but I do wash my hair with it. The thing is that it doesn't only affect your hair, because the hair, you know, it's dead. So yeah, but it also affects your scalp. What I do, and that is where the onion juice also comes in. What I do is that I use magnesium oil on my scalp once in a while. Magnesium oil also contains sulfur, and that dissolves the colic and all the things from your scalp. So that is what I use once in a while for my scalp, to declog my scalp and to get rid of all the metals that has been deposited by the water.
Yeah, good. That's interesting. And the other thing, how often do you need to wash your hair? I know you said not regular, not so much.
Yeah, well, yes, you do have to wash.
As African, our hair sometimes can see a little bit of.
You know, my sister, she is terrible. She refuses to wash her hair. I wash my hair once in a week, and I also know and hear that it takes a lot of time for some people to wash their hair. I really don't understand that. What I do, because once per month you wash your hair with a clarifying shampoo. I don't take that. I have a busy schedule. Plus I'm lazy. So I won't take a whole day to wash my hair. What I do is that I divide my hair in a couple of big twists. I apply, before I start to do that, I apply coconut oil in my hair, maybe the day before. I wash my hair either on Saturday or on Sunday. So the day before, I apply coconut oil in my hair and on my scalp. Then the day when I'm going to wash my hair, I apply a conditioner to my hair, because I condition my hair every day. I put a conditioner in my hair. I leave it in for about 5 to 10 minutes. And there's another thing that remind me to say something about how long you should leave a conditioner in. I leave it in, I rinse it out, I put I sprayed my scalp cleanser on my scalp, I massage my scalp, I rinse it out, I put conditioner in my hair again, leave it in for about 10-20 minutes tops, rinse it out, done. So I don't know how come so many women take a whole day to wash their hair.
Maybe it has to do with the textures of the hair. I think we all have different texture, and I know my type of hair, that those like really hard cotton wool, like typical African hair, you know. And although I have to be honest, I think I always say it's really hard to maintain when you have such kind of hair, especially the length of time you will spend to dry my hair. Why I'm saying this, I'm seeing my fellow friend Tumelo is there, and maybe she can tell us how she manages. How long does it take to dry your hair?
I'm one of those who used to take the whole day. I'd start at 8 and finish at around 4. Yes, it has to do with texture. Because if you can see, it's thick. It is so thick. We don't use hair typing. I don't like it either, but it's the last one.
Let me tell you, don't listen to her, because she is in South Africa. She has a full product line. She knows how to do hair. So please don't fool us here in Europe.
Yeah, but it's, as I say, it's the way how
hair, yes, but I think it also has to do with techniques
how to dry the hair. So in winter, now a good example, it's winter, I showered, and you know, I don't think it's healthy to go out with wet hair.
No.
first of all. And so how quick can you dry your hair?
I dry my hair.
Apart from using the dryers, because I'm sure it's not recommended.
When I wash my hair, I make sure that I don't have to go out. When I do have to go out, I use a scarf, a satin scarf, to tie my hair. Put a cap on so that my hair is not getting in touch with the outer environment. When it's cold outside, also I use other products when it's winter. I use more heavier products than when it's summer, because in the summer I have the tendency to wash my hair. Well, not wash. I rinse it every day, and then I use a light conditioner because I use it on a daily basis. In the winter, I also use a conditioner actually on a daily basis, but it's a more thicker. It has more oils in it, more of all the stuff, more thicker conditioner than in the summer.
Okay. Yes, and the other thing is that there's this issue with the hair. I don't know about you guys, but in the middle of the hair, you tend to find that some people tend to have a lot of itchiness and loss of hair, just like men losing their hair, but quite itchy in the middle of the hair. What's that?
That could be a sign of hair loss. It could be a sign of that there's something going on in your body. But it could also be that you are, because it's the middle of your hair, my hair, I have it at the front actually, that the texture there is different than on other places of your scalp. Itching can be because of a dry scalp. So try to, instead of oil, I don't recommend castor oil. I love castor oil, but for my hair in the winter, try a light oil. I use a lot of coconut oil because of the fact that it has the ability to prevent the loss of protein in our hair. Try to use light oils on your scalp. Try, for instance, almond oil. And the product that I really, 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 really love is aloe vera juice to put on my scalp, because it has a really refreshing feel on my scalp. And it's also very beneficial because it's a humectant, so it draws the moisture to your skin.
Great. Anybody else with some question? I'm sure now you have something to ask.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hi, Ola.
Hi, good evening.
Good
Thank you very much for the presentation. For me, it's been a challenge because I went natural last year, and my hair is very thick. So I've been going through YouTube videos to find out what sort of hairstyles, what sort of conditioners, for example. Many people swear on Jamaican castor oil. You just said you don't recommend it. Is it just for the winter or generally?
No, I don't recommend castor oil for the scalp.
Okay, but for the hair, it's okay.
I use it myself. I think it's a very thick oil. So if I use it, I use very little and only to seal.
Okay.
What we should not forget is that because a lot of people make concussions of a lot of oils and butters together, but that doesn't give moisture. Our hair needs moisture. If you don't want your hair to break, you have to give your hair moisture. And moisture is not just spray water on it and seal it with an oil. It's far more than that. You need to use a cream-based product.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, so that means the coconut oil is winning again.
Absolutely.
I have had it again also for cooking.
Yes, but there are also people that cannot have coconut oil. That their coconut oil is drying out their skin and their hair, and that's also possible.
Okay. So anybody else with another question before we wind up? So we've already gone. I almost go ahead.
I'm back. Sorry, I lost connection there.
Yes.
Welcome.
Just to finish off on my trail of thought, on washing the hair the whole day, I had to learn. Now I divide my hair, my wash days in two. like Janine says, on the first day, I detangle. I'll spritz my hair with whatever moisturizer, put coconut oil, cover it up. The next day it's wash day, and I prepare. So preparing means I wake up, apply whatever I apply, get in the shower, out. I try to. You could say I'm a lazy natural, but I've realized lazy and natural don't go together. Not anymore. I used to wash. I used to wash my hair every 2 weeks. Doesn't work. 1 week is good because within that week you are re-moisturizing, detangling, so it makes wash day much easier. I have to say that washing once a week is much better than keeping it for 2, 3, 4 weeks. So yeah,
I agree.
that's what I've learned.
Thanks for those tips.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're welcome.
Yes. Yeah. So anybody else? I don't think I have other questions from my side. Definitely, the natural hairs, we are winning. We have to go natural and be brave. I think it's a really brave and not, I don't know how to say, it's not even like brave, it's our hair, to embrace our beauty and our hair. And some of us are very shy to go to that direction, and we are happy to get tips how to make our hair even much easier to manage. You see, we all do all these kind of extensions, but I still believe in Europe, especially the winter, it's too cold, the hair has to be protected, which I don't really, that's actually the question I wanted to ask you, and also to remind you of the question you said, why the treatment doesn't have to be put for so long. Those are the two things that maybe you should tell us, because in winter we need to protect our hair. So what, the natural hair, do you really need to protect it like any other hair because it's too cold?
Well, I think the protective styling, it comes from the fact that our hair is biologically it's almost the same, and I say almost because it has to do with the components of the hair. It's dry. In the winter, the weather outside subtracts moisture from your hair. I think it's a combination of, I won't call it laziness, but I think it's a combination of, I don't braid my hair, and that is where my laziness comes in, because when I braid my hair with extensions, I don't think about the protective styling. I think about when I have to take them down again, and that takes hours. So I've done it a couple of times, and I'm not doing that. I'm really not doing that.
Well, there are different options, yeah.
If you have them in braids, of course, you don't, and you keep them in, I advise to keep them in for a maximum of 6 weeks. You wash it, but you don't have to do the detangling or the whatever. You do every step that you would normally do, with the exception of the detangling and the combing, which keeps your hair, of course, in a place intact, and that gives it also the possibility the possibility for the length retention.
Mm-hmm. Because the other theory is that I don't know, my hair, especially in winter, I'm always covering it as much as I can, and that's when my hair grow the best, because it's covered, and you're moisturizing, you're washing here and there, not as often as you guys. But
I won't ask.
Because I wouldn't imagine washing these braids anymore. So and then it comes to summer, and then you have this beautiful hair coming out of all that, but then you got the weather condition, which I it's sort of like the cats or the dogs. They lose their hair in summer again because of the winter season is gone, and that's the same thing. You get a lot of hair lost during summer than in winter, or either because it was covered. But I don't believe that. Does it have to do with the weather and the chemistry about when it's cold and winter, like the other animals, like?
No, not necessarily. We are not like the animals. When you braid your hair, and you take them down, you have to take in consideration that normally you would lose between 50 and 150 hairs per day without noticing it. Now you have them in braids, so the hair can't go anywhere. So when you take it down, all the hair that should have been, should have been losing in that period will stay in your braid. So it looks as if you are losing massive amounts of hair, but it's the hair that you would have lost if you wouldn't have them in braids as well. So
yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And the other question of the treatment, you said you cannot put the treatment for so long.
Yes, you can. The maximum, yes, because people use, I do it myself, but it's out of laziness, but it doesn't have any added value to leave a conditioner in overnight. It will feel as if it's better, but after, I think it's 30 minutes, it doesn't have any added value because your hair takes up so much. If a conditioner does its job very well, it should be able to treat your hair within 5 minutes, maximum. However, there are also oils in the conditioner, and oils take a bit longer to do their work. So therefore, you can leave it in longer, and that is why a maximum of 30 minutes is enough to do a deep conditioner to treat your hair. To speed it up, you can also add some heat to it. What I do, because I don't use, I do sometimes I do flat iron my hair. What I do is I put a cap over my hair, and then I use a blow dryer to add some heat. You can also, for the people that have a microwave, I think my mother told me last week that I'm the only person on earth that doesn't have a microwave.
Behavior, that's true.
If you have a microwave, what you could do, you can wet a towel, you heat it up in the microwave, and then you put it over your hair. That also gives some heat. So these are all simple techniques to make sure that the product works in, especially if you do, for instance, hot oil treatments, you can do that as well with the warmed wet towel.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to wind up this so that we can have a good evening later and enjoy the evening. Yes. Thank you so much for coming. You can see we are all thirsty asking questions. I don't know, Hilda, if you had any questions or comment or anything. You can always drop a comment down there. We have a chat box. But thank you so much. And as you can see, we have a contact there. You can easily find her on Facebook and Instagram. And if you have any direct questions, don't hesitate to contact her. She's always with us. And we're so happy to have you here with us today. Apologies, but we have recorded this, so we'll be sharing it out on YouTube as well. So, and I'm looking forward to more information and getting to know more about the products. We'll be following you as well on your page, so that we can be interested. I'm sure you also have products as well. So if you're interested with products for hair, Janine, she's very gladly to direct you which product she has. And yes, so thank you so much. Do you have any last statements for people?
Yes, what I want to say, what I want to leave you with is, I like the phrase, prospect where you are planted. A lot of people tend to look at other people's hair and other people's results, and that is perfectly human, but start with what you have, look at what your hair needs, look at what your hair likes, and work from there.
Wow, thank you. That's very, very powerful. And yeah, be you.
Yes.
Don't compare yourself with others.
Don't try to be the neighbor.
No. Be happy with yourself. Thank you so much. So anyway, I'll call this off. And if you want to know more about our way, feel free to check our website, www.africanwomenineurope.eu, if you have never known where to find us. And we're also on Facebook as well. And my name there is Joy Awe. You find me there with a lot of conversation going on. And we have a lot of activities going on. We have Awe Awards. We are coming all the way to Den Haag on 4th of May. And actually the early bird tickets, they're ending this month. So take advantage of that. And then we have the mentorship program going on. And yes, if you know somebody who needs to be nominated as well, doing great work, go ahead and invite your selected person. At the end of the month of February, we'll be doing the voting. So, and all the nominations are going through in end of January as we wait for the confirmation. So anyway, there's quite a lot Awe is doing, and we'll be hosting more and more of this. So get used to the tool. And I'm happy we had a few people coming in to get used to the tool. And it's very easy to interactive, and I find it very, once you've learned the technique, how to use it, it's easy to interact with others. So we'll be having more and more of this every Friday, and either from our premium members, which we are actually having a membership option, where we have online members and premium membership, who will get even more advantages of supporting Awe and also being part of it. So from next few weeks, we'll be starting every Sunday evening. We'll be hosting a few guests, just having an interactive discussion. It depends on the topic, whether it's health, whether it's lifestyle, or whether it's a product oriented. So this is going to be happening most of the time on Sunday, which is a little bit relaxed, not too much hectic in between the week. So on Sunday evening, we'll be having that. So thank you so much for joining us. And I wish you a lovely evening and a lovely weekend ahead of you. Tomorrow is Friday, of course.
Yes.
So yes, I wish you all a good time. And drop us a line. Tell us your feedback, how you found out the interaction. That's also very important to us. And I can see here some of you are saying, thank you for the discussion. It was very interactive. Yes, and thanks a million for all the good information. So yes, thank you so much also for joining us. Next time, let's share the good knowledge with others. So I wish you a good evening and see you next time. And together we are strong.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending, and I'll see you at the event in May in the Hague.
Yes, definitely. We are gonna be there, and we're looking forward to the day. If you haven't booked your tickets, go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you then. And this video will be there for you as well. It's recorded, so yes. So I wish you a good evening, and I let you to say bye or anything.
Good night.
So that we can.
It's a good night this side.
Thank you for coming and enjoying. People, Camilla is all the way from South Africa. Well, not all the way because of technology, but she is my friend from South Africa, and she made time to join us here.
Thank you.
No, it was a pleasure. It's very nice meeting other ladies from everywhere else.
In the world.
In the world. You know, it's amazing technology. Eh?
Yeah.
I'm an hour ahead. So you can imagine. To you, it's 10 to 10. It's 10 to 11 this side.
Oh, okay. So we better wind up.
Yes.
All right. Good night,
so
everyone.
Good night.
I'll be ending the meeting now. Good night.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night.